Hi everyone. I've come up with a new campaign this time and it's a 30-minute workout series. And the first edition of it happens to be just the upper body exercises. So today I'll be making you go through some 7 odd exercises for the upper body which are keeping the core activated in mind and also the lower body is engaged to an extent. So let's get started with these exercises. So the first exercise of this series happens to be a lat pull down. The lat pull down machine works the latissimus dorsi, which is your back. It also works your biceps and the forearms as a supporting muscle. So let me demonstrate to you the exercise and then I'll explain to you a few important points about this machine. I've just done a few reps for demonstration's sake, but the idea is to keep breathing throughout the repetition. So when you pull it down, that's when the weight stack is going up. So you breathe out when you pull and you breathe in when this handle is going up. Try to keep your joints soft and keep your core activated throughout the set. And this is how you do the lat pull down. The next exercise in this series happens to be a flat bench dumbbell chest press. Now this exercise is like a gold standard exercise for the chest. The reason why I have chosen a dumbbell over a bar is this is where your stabilizers can be challenged and worked in a much better manner. So let me demonstrate to you 5 reps of this exercise and then I'll be explaining to you a few pointers about this particular exercise. So there are some core activation points which I've already explained to you in my initial videos. You can, of course, go back to my page and have a look at about what all things you need to maintain when you're lying in a supine position. Any exercise you do in a supine position, you have to keep your these core activation points intact. Apart from that, please make sure that you breathe out when you're pushing the dumbbell up, breathe in when you bring it down, and depending upon your body height, you might have to keep your feet either on the floor or on a step or on the bench so that your lower back is neutral. The priority of all these exercises is to maintain a good form. This is how you do a flat bench dumbbell chest press. The next exercise which follows is the one arm dumbbell row. Now this exercise works the latissimus dorsi or the back muscle but in a different plane. The first exercise which you did, the lat pull down, was in a frontal plane. This one is in the sagittal plane. So let me demonstrate to you few reps of this exercise. This exercise can be done in 2 ways. One is the supported version, which is on the bench. So where I rest my one knee and one palm and I'm holding the dumbbell here, keeping my spine neutral and doing the reps. If I want to activate my core more in this exercise, I will get into a staggered stance and do the exercise. So let me demonstrate to you 5 reps of each and you can decide which one you can go for depending upon your fitness levels. Now I'll be showing you the advanced version where my core is challenged more because I am not taking any help of any external bench or so. So I'm here. I have to maintain this position and keep rowing, trying to keep my elbows as close as possible. Elbow remains soft when you go down And this is how you do the one arm dumbbell row, either in a staggered stance like what I did right now, or on a bench with a support. The next exercise in this series is a bend over one arm cable fly. Now this exercise is for the pectoralis major, and this is a single joint exercise. If you don't have a cable crossover machine, you can always use any form of resistance tubes or TheraBands or Superbands. So I'll be demonstrating to you two angles. One is from this side where I'll be using a Superband, and one is from this side where you'll see a cross section or a profile view of my torso position, and I'll be using a resistance tube for the same. So let me do 5 reps from each angle. This was with the Superband. Now I will be using the resistance tube. It's important that you maintain your spine in a complete neutral position. If you noticed, I was just moving my right shoulder, all the other joints were intact. This is where the core activation increases. That is the reason of giving you this exercise, that you're doing an isolation movement, but simultaneously something else is working as well. This is how you do a one arm cable fly or a one arm resistance tube fly, or you can use a one arm Superband fly. The exercise which follows in this series happens to be the EZ bar upright row. You need an EZ bar for this, and you're doing an upright row. The reason why I've taken an EZ bar is because it's easy on the wrist, so that you can do the movement in a much more freer manner. So let me demonstrate to you 5 reps of this exercise, and then I'll talk a little more about the same. The thing which you have to keep in mind with regards to this exercise is to not let the elbows go higher than the shoulders, because that's not safe for the shoulder. It leads to something called as a shoulder impingement. I have made a detailed video on that particular topic, so you can go back to my page and have a look at the same. This exercise works your shoulder really well. Of course, your forearms and your biceps are the supporting muscles, so they also get worked. Try to keep your core engaged and activated at all points of time. And this is how you do the EZ bar upright row. The next exercise is a seated overhead tricep extension. The reason why I've taken a bench and a seated version is so that my spine remains safe. Many times you observe that when people do this particular exercise in a standing position, they end up arching their backs too much. And hence, to avoid that problem, be seated, take the dumbbell up, hold it closer to your body. I'll be demonstrating to you 5 reps of this exercise and then talking more about this. As you noticed, I was keeping my arms as straight as possible, trying not to move from my shoulder so that my shoulder gets stabilized properly. If the elbow moves too much, the pressure of this particular dumbbell is getting divided between my triceps and the shoulder. This exercise is only and only for the triceps, so you have to stabilize the shoulder and just move from the elbow. This is how you do a seated overhead tricep extension. Guys, the next and the last exercise of this series is a dumbbell bicep hammer curl. Now, as the name suggests, this is for the biceps and with a hammer grip. So let me demonstrate to you this exercise in 2 ways. One is where I'm standing here and doing the exercise, and one where I can make the same exercise more core challenging and more difficult so that I don't get a chance to cheat. The first version is where I stand here, not taking any support, and do a hammer curl. Try and keep your elbows as straight as possible. See to it that no rocking happens from the shoulder, neither from the elbows. So this is one way of doing it. If I want to make it even more challenging, I will rest myself against the wall, keep my knees soft, keep my core completely activated, rest my elbows on the wall, and do the same exercise. This will be more challenging because I'm not getting a single chance to cheat and activating my core simultaneously with the biceps getting worked because of the dumbbell hammer curl. This is how you perform the exercise in two ways. So that's it. Thank you. So guys, these were my 7 exercises. I focused on the chest and the back more. So I gave you 2 exercises for each of these muscles, one for the shoulder and one each for the biceps and the triceps. The important thing is to keep the spine neutral, to keep your form and technique absolutely correct, and to keep your core activated at all points of time. Your lower body is knowingly or unknowingly helping you in maintaining a good form in all these exercises, and that point has to be kept in mind always. I hope you try these exercises. Do let me know how your experience was, and as I always say, please do 2 or 3 sets for 15 to 12 repetitions depending upon what your time window is, and I'll be more than happy to answer your queries, questions, feedbacks in the comment section, or if you want to DM me, you can do the same as well. Until next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.